He further argues the national legal system cannot undermine Bimbele's traditional system.
I
am surprised that the other faction keeps saying the courts have ruled in their favor. For someone to become a chief, the culture and people should accept it. If they claim the court has given the leadership of Bimbela to them, why is there tension and turmoil in society? My late father and late Na Salifu Dawuni was legitimately enskinned as the king of Nanung, and those people protested. The entire kingdom set up a judicial committee, and all the chiefs accepted that this is culture of our people.
Committee
and all the people accepted that this is our chief, and the people accepted, and everything was going on.
But Nyelimboliguna, Yakubu and Dani insist the state has failed the people of Bimbela if it does not enforce the court's ruling, and that it is a huge indictment on the Supreme Court of Ghana, a bad precedent for the country.
The political system, our democratic system, has weakened the traditional system. So in anything that we do, we would have to follow the democratic system, the system in which we have. And this system is the politics. So there is nothing we can do than to put people to work. Because it's no magic that the Supreme Court verdict would have to work. This is no magic. You understand?
Yeah.
But I can't ask you come out, fight it. X is saying he won't agree, fight it, so that we would be in control, so that everybody knows that, yeah, you are the man. I don't need to do that, because it's the same people that I need to rule. So I need the systems to work.
While the two leaders are at this, the future of hundreds are on the line. The story of Mohammed and his children paints a clear picture, but there are several women in Bimbela who are breadwinners too. One of them is Azuma, who has a salon close to Mohammed's tailoring shop. Unlike Mohammed, Azuma seems used to defying curfew hours. She simply cannot help it, as it is difficult to get paid for half-braided hair. She's been warned and arrested a number of times, and today's customer may have to return tomorrow to finish as the curfew hour beckons. She barely has time for an interview, but she damns the consequences, hoping her pleas in this documentary will make a difference. She says her business is severely affected.
And affected ma ka curfew ma gba na magba, because bimi gba ma par curfew mazu kan ya tuma mazu ka gba ma par.
Arrested her several times because of the curfew, and she was here and the time was up, so she was arrested on several occasions.
But no Google man kuna ma.
Done, so maybe she will leave any moment.
Because it is a business in Chandler too, but if then Labla business my Chandler.
That they will be happy if they lift the curfew, because when the curfew is there, it doesn't give them enough time to work. But when it is not there, they can get enough time to work and then also earn something daily.
Azuma has no children yet, but Sumuya Yakubu, also Mohammed's neighbor, has just had a baby. Her baby may have an understanding of curfew, as a mom has had to literally race out of the market several times when she was pregnant in order to beat curfew hours.
That is an indictment. We all know that it's the Bimbila Nas Palace that celebrates the Damba. But another group of people say they will not listen to it. They have not accepted the Supreme Court verdict, and therefore they are drumming and dancing. And yet the law cannot stop them. Over 120 security personnel in Bimbila, and they couldn't stop less than 500 or 200 people from drumming and dancing. That tells you that there are some heavy hands on them.
When I was pregnant, I was a trader. So right now, because of the kids, I'm not more going. But as at that time, it is affecting us a lot because most especially the traders, those women. You know, when you are late from the market, those villages, by the time you arrive, it will be what, past 6. So when you get there, you know, you will overrun. So I was forcing myself to use the pregnancy to run.
Sumia's day begins as early as Muhammad's and with a solemn prayer. Prayer for a peaceful Bimbila where her newly born baby will have a normal life, the life she has not had for many years.
The village market, the market is busy at around 4 to 5. You know, that's the time that they will go to farms and then come back. They will go to farms and come back and come to the market. So by the time they will come to the market and then they will start buying your things, it will be getting to curfew time. So you will be hurried to pack your things and then overtake the time. So it is affecting the business a lot. The only thing is to come and force yourself to sleep. Whether you like it or not, you have to sleep. That is it.
One thing I made clear in all my conversations with the two claimants to the Bimbila skin was the effect of the conflict and curfews on women, children, businesses and the overall development of Bimbila as these stories depict. Both of them prove in their words they are not oblivious of the pain being inflicted on the people they want to rule. For the faction which won the court case, there is a perpetuity of poverty, feeding into a cycle of rampant clashes, truncated education, rural-urban migration and drug abuse. The youth mostly are the heart of this cycle.
A hungry man is an angry man, right? So the security situation has led to us being in curfew. And definitely curfew has reduced the number of hours that one can put into business. So there is nothing going on. So it has increased poverty. And because of this poverty, people of Nanu, outside Nanu, have taken that as an advantage to be sponsoring people. You understand, to foment troubles in the area, simply because I cannot get to feed my family again. You understand? Businesses are not going, and then I'm looking up to X, I'm looking up to Y, and then you know his position, you know where his interest is. So obviously you are going to work on that. You are going to work towards his benefit. And then looking at the kids and the women around being out of business. Kids, I should say, we have a high rate of the youth moving into kaya. The women, they are more into petty trading. And we all know trading eats into late nights. And businesses are not going on well, simply because of the curfew, simply because of the security situation in Nano. And then the youth too. We have quite a number of the young ones from SS, and our educational system isn't that good. So very few of them qualify to the tertiary. And you see a lot of them migrating to the south, into kaya years and what have you. And the few that are here, just get themselves into some deviant actions. Like most of them are into drinking, the use of drugs like tramadol and what have you. But because of the security situation, the moment you want to address a problem, whether be it good or bad, especially good, once it's coming from this cortex, another cortex comes and says, no, don't listen. If you listen, that means his authority is working.
And for the faction which disagrees with the Supreme Court ruling, there is simply no peace of mind for anyone in Bimbilla today as killings continue.
Bimbilla nabu zaviangela, dubu zalu yini.
Bimbilla is not yet stable because there is a lot of confusion surrounding the chieftaincy institution, which is bringing untold hardships on the people of Nanum. People are not free to do as they want. It is one of the practices of Nanung that after eating, people come out to relax, after which you go to bed. These people, I describe as disgruntled people, are fond of killing people in their resting places, and that has resulted in the perpetuation of a curfew.
But for how long will this struggle continue to disrupt lives of innocent people, especially women and children? And which of the factions is willing to end this by perhaps extending an olive branch? That question would bring up the political undertones to this bloody chieftaincy feud. Solana Isifu Salifu Dauni accuses the other faction of introducing politics into the Bimbilla chieftaincy matter in the first place and insists, although he has subjects who are members of both governing New Patriotic Party and opposition National Democratic Congress, he never meddles in politics.
I
disagree with those who assert that politicians have infiltrated chieftaincy system and they are making the situation worse. It is not true. Our own people have invested in the politicians and have invited them to come. The politicians are in Accra, but these disgruntled people have gone to invite them in to burn down our culture and let them superintend over Bimbilla. And that is what the people of Nanung are saying we will not agree to.
Even though
if you properly understand chieftaincy, you will not side with any party. Even my late father was alive, his wives will vote during elections and attempt to tell them who they voted for. He will stop them and ask them to take it far away from him. So I don't belong to NPP or NDC. I belong to both of them, and tell them to come and tell him who they voted for. For example, former NDC DCEs in my camp were arrested when Na and Dani was killed. So I belong to neither NDC nor MPP. I am for both of them.
Nyelimboliguna Yakubu Andani, on the other hand, says politicians should either leave Bimbilla alone or use their positions to make lives better. As far as he is concerned, they are only preying on the chieftaincy crisis for votes, irrespective of the bloodshed.
Imagine you live in a community where you have been in a struggle of chieftaincy, disturbances, and then a judgment is passed. The MP is not concerned about it. The regional minister is not concerned about it. The chieftaincy minister is not concerned about it. The national security minister is not concerned about it. The president is not concerned about it. Because if you all calm down, look, you've been in this struggle for long. And this is the apex court. This is what they have come out with. Let's move forward. We've come to greet you. You are successful. Let's move forward. Put in measures where Nanung will take its next step. But none of them have visited, not even the MP of the area, which I think the media would have had an encounter with him to ask him that, because that's quite embarrassing. And then the Northern Regional Minister who is in the region haven't come either. Though myself and my elders and the chiefs of Nanung, we've gone to pay a courtesy call on the RECSEC and thank them for all these years, because they have been with us in all these troubled times. So we want to thank them and show our appreciation. But as nodness as they are, they should have known that when your father comes to pay your visit, you are supposed to come and check on him, how he got on. But all that hasn't been done. So I think politics has played quite a sad role in our situation right now. So I think politicians would have to work more maturely. When you are in a position, you should use it to transform people, to develop the area, rather than deepening their wounds.
Something has to give, but who will extend the olive branch? Now Salifu Dawoni says their interventions have failed and that they are waiting on government to form a committee to look into the matter.
All our initiatives have been turned down by the other faction. So it is now their turn. They are those causing troubles, as I have said earlier. The imported mercenaries who killed a lot of youth in this town. They were arrested, but through their influence, those people have been freed and are walking around the town. So we have done a lot by reaching out to them, but they have turned it all down because they think Ghana is for them. I am hoping that one day there will be a sitting and the entire Nanung state will know peace. The entire state is looking up to them that one day they themselves, they know that the seed they have sown in the kingdom is not good, and everybody is waiting for them to one day say, we started something and it has sent us nowhere. So let's come back and let's do things as we used to do it. If that happens, all our problems will vanish in less than an hour.
With Naya Kubo and Dani Dasana being a development communication person, fairly younger and former staff of SOS, I went as far as asking if he has regrets leaving his job for a contended chieftaincy position, and if he ever had the idea of letting go flash through his mind.
I was born to take up this position. Like I initially told you, once you are born a royal, you already have that load on you. Just that the time is not up yet. That time will surely come. So I knew we to get to this stage, especially when my dad was called to take over the throne. As the first son, that should be your first cry. In Dagbani, we have a saying that when your father or when the elder starts to cut down the firewood, that means you should be preparing to carry it, because he's cutting it down for you to carry. So the fact that he got into that position, my door was always being knocked, because he wouldn't live forever.
Positions are entrenched and both sides believe they are right, one by tradition and the other by Ghana's legal system. The two leaders have a lot of disagreement, but one thing they both agree on is that the bloodshed must stop immediately.
So we are one people. Nanu is one place that we welcome visitors, and we live at peace with one another until this chieftaincy rights came in. This is not a time for us to fight, and this is not a time for us to prove to the world that we have nothing but just shared ignorance. This is a time for us to prove that we want the development of the kingdom. Nobody needs any position to sit on anybody's interest, but the law is for the development of our individual selves and the community at large.
Those who told you that the curfew is disturbing, they want it to be removed. That they are very, very good people, they are peace-loving people, and he wants a lot of people to continue to be hammering on it. That if everybody thinks that way, that there will be peace. That he himself, the curfew is affecting him, because if people go to village markets after their businesses and they are coming back and it is time. It is very difficult for people to get into their houses and sleep comfortably. So his prayer is that the message of peace will go through the rank and file and the entire Nanon society, so that one day we'll come back to our senses and peace will prevail in the kingdom.
Each passing day presents questions about the welfare and future in the land of Bimbilla.
Because it is a business in Chala Tune, but if then they love Lanyanga, business my Chala.
That they will be happy if they lift the curfew, because when the curfew is there, it doesn't give them enough time to work. But when it is not there, they can get enough time to work and then also earn something.
Mohammed is desperate in his wish for the curfew to be over. At least a review would do for him, so he could work more and invest in the future of his children.
If only the government will come out and tell us that they should remove the curfew, because if the curfew is there, nothing can go, and nothing is just going.
And for Sumia, a new mother who wants a normal life for her newborn baby.
We wish they should give us maybe around 8 or 10. So if we get 10 and then 12 above, that one will be okay. Because as there's no in here, lice here, we are suffering a lot.
On August 29, 2019, President Akufo-Addo formally commissioned the Awomefia of Anlo State, Togbe III III, to mediate on this Bimbilla chieftaincy matter. National Security Minister Albert Kandapa and Information Minister Kojo Opong Nkrumah were part of a high-powered delegation to present the letter of appointment to Togbe III, who now has a daunting task to mediate between the two entrenched positions.
The Dabong and the Nano is just like the right hand and the left hand. So the assignment is a huge one, but with your huge experiences in peace and security, and also your deep knowledge in tradition, which you are the tradition, and the tradition is you. So for us, we are so happy in Northern region. We are very happy in the non-traditional kingdom, given the fact that people of the Volta and the people of Northern region, particularly the non-traditional area, we have intermarried. So you are coming home to solve your own family problem. You are welcome. We are welcome. You are welcome. Wish you all the best, and may the Almighty guide you to be one to add up to what His Majesty Otufo has done, so that at least Ghana will see total peace.
The faction which disagrees with the court's ruling has welcomed the intervention, whilst the other, which won the court case, has served notice it will not cooperate with the government committee. As it stands, the clock is ticking for Togbe III to complete the work and deliver peaceful coexistence for development in Bimbilla. Lessons learnt from Yendi is proof these processes take time, but same lessons also show peace is possible in the long run, and so is development if only the feuding factions in Bimbilla will agree to end the bloodshed for the sake of these women and children.
This is Bimbilla, and at this point people are going about their businesses. But in the evening, the story is a whole different one. It becomes a ghost town. There is the burden of curfew here, and people are allowed out of their rooms and their houses only between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. The people that I've spoken to say they've had enough of it, but it has to take the factions involved in this conflict, which has traveled a couple of years, to get to that realization along with the people. Until that happens, one word I've learned here is Sodo, and that means peace. They want that so they can live fulfilling lives and thrive. Giftyandoh, JoyNews, Bimbilla, Northern Region.